Okay, guys. As I've promised you guys that I'm gonna send you notes that are definitely gonna help you. I hope me doing this will feel more as if standing in front of you in the classroom. So we're gonna go through lesson 5, lesson 6, and lesson 7. This you're going to use as a preparation for you to write your assignment as well as for your sorry, for your future oncoming test, of which is going to be test 2, and as well as the external examination. Okay, so let us quickly go through lesson 5. They're talking about the hierarchy of authorities. I've been stressing a point that hierarchy, it's levels, different sections that are being followed everywhere. We've said it in public administration. We've got the 6 processes. Those 6 processes that we do follow, they have a system that is being followed in a hierarchy. So now we're going to talk about authorities. Remember, I've been using a typical example of saying somebody who in a shop they will call and say authorize, meaning that particular person, maybe a teller, would perhaps be calling his supervisor to come and make changes on the system. So hierarchy of authorities, they are saying discussion of different people who are working at different levels, in this instance in the country, running the country. So all of them, they are authorized to do certain types of work. They've got limitation of their duties. So the learning objectives are: we must know what is the function of government and the constitution, the central authority schematically, composition of parliament, qualification of membership and seating of the national, functions of the provincial government, functions and qualifications of the executive council, institutions and status of municipalities and the executive committees, institution and activities of the Provincial Council of Traditional Leaders, the institution and functions of Volksstadt Council. Now, sorry, I won't be going through every single detail. I'm gonna go through the ones that I feel like you should be knowing now, the main focused areas that you are supposed to be knowing so you can be prepared. So we know that the interim constitution, it was the supreme authority during the transformation process until the new and final constitution. The executive authority of the interim government rests within the president, who must perform the functions, responsibilities of the executive in accordance with the interim constitution. The NA elected its first sitting a president for a period of 5 years amongst its own members. Every party holding at least 80 seats in the National Assembly was entitled to designate from amongst the members of the NA an executive deputy president. The cabinet consists of the president, deputy president, and not more than 27 ministers who were members of parliament. So there basically they are talking about how was the constitution being formed. The constitution is something that has been formed after we transformed from the era of apartheid. So we transformed into being a democratic country, and we are now following what we call the constitution. So the constitution said the people who will lead our country, it will be our main leader, which is the president. And of course, everybody falls sick now and then. Everybody's got personal issues now and then. So, but then if the leader is not in the office, who must take charge? So the person who must take charge, it is the deputy president. And of course, the deputy president has got to have as well what? the top people who are heading different divisions, which are the ministers. And then it goes down schematically until it reaches up to us, the people who are being led by the councillors in the local level. So those people who are leading up there in the legislature, we're talking about the cabinet. So president, deputy, the ministers, we refer to them as the cabinet, members of the cabinet. So the Constitution of South Africa, it said people will vote, politically, will follow politics. People will vote for whoever they want to lead. It's no longer going to be an oppression anymore. People now can choose who they want their leader to be, and that system, it is being followed in a politically manner. The Constitution consists of the most important rules of our political system. It protects the rights of the citizens of the country and explains their responsibilities. It explains the different levels and areas of government and their powers that they have, and how are they supposed to use those powers. The Constitution cannot be changed unless 70%, 75% of the members of the NA, they agree, including those of the NCOP. I believe we've done that. In that instance, I can say now you guys know your work, right? So here are the values of the Constitution. We know that the Constitution, it is here to serve what? The humans, is to promote human rights and for us to exercise our freedom and for us to be united. Remember, at first we used to have white this side and the blacks this side, but today we are all recognized as one. So it was drafted for eliminating discrimination. And it entrenches the rule of law, meaning it's saying everything that is written in the Constitution, it is the main rule that also all the members of the cabinet, they are supposed to follow. It gives every citizen the right to vote, né? And then we have the purpose of it. It is to heal the division of the past and create a society, right? A society that is free, a society that serves us as one democratic society, right? So you'll read there for yourself. I'm moving forward. We also have the characteristics of the Constitution. So pay attention, guys. There might be a question later on that might say, what is the purpose of the Constitution? You will go through those. And then again, they might say, what are the characteristics of the Constitution? And then you also go through them. So for us to see the central authority schematically, meaning now you must refer to your textbooks. You will see diagrams there that are going to explain that information further for you. It is simply showing you the top person reports to the next two person, those next two person that reports to, etc., etc. We have what we call Parliament. Here's a question for you. I won't give you an answer. Now as I ask, you going to answer yourself. I've said it to you that Parliament, it consists of how many houses? Yes. And what are the names of those two houses? It is and right? So now, one of the main houses that is there, it is the National Assembly. So we're gonna go through the qualifications, meaning for a person to qualify to be called a member of a National Assembly, these should be followed. So the National Assembly, okay, I'm giving you the answers. It consists of those two houses that you see there. And then the National Assembly, it is elected to represent the people and to ensure government by the people under the Constitution. It is the people that choose who our president should be. It's providing a national forum for public debate of important issues. It passes the laws that people say should be amended, or people should say we want, or people should say we no longer want, and that should be drafted down in our constitution. So they are the ones that deal with such. That means passing laws. They are overseeing the executive composition, that the National Assembly, it should consist of 350 up to 400 members, and they should be elected every 5 years, right? So that you will read for yourself, guys. Moving forward. Now, the important part is that what is the function of the provincial government? So, remember, we spoke about the word schematically, we spoke about the word hierarchy. That means you've got divisions. Okay? So, functions of the provincial government. We're also going to go through functions of the local government and functions of the, yes, answer yourself. So the functions of the provincial government here is that they are responsible to offer us social services like education, offering us health departments, offering us social development, offering us economic functions like agriculture and roads. So basically what they're talking about is that, remember, in South Africa we've got 9 different provinces. All of those, they are rich in certain what's the word, outgivings, I can say. I mean, in Gauteng, for example, we have what? We have agriculture. We also have mines. In Limpopo, mostly it is mines. In the Free State, it's also mines and agriculture. In the Western Cape, oh, it's also part of mines, farming of salt, by the seas. They give us like salt, like I said. What else do we have? Okay, my point is that different provinces, they are offering all of us different aspects of the things that we need, as we are all the citizens. So in each and every province, we are supposed to be having different departments. It doesn't mean that kids who are staying in Gauteng, they are the only ones who are supposed to go to school. No. So meaning in Limpopo, in Western Cape, in Mpumalanga, etc., all of those, they are supposed to be having different departments that are offering the same services to all of us as the citizens of South Africa. So, provincial government, it's the ones that are in charge to make sure that those departments, they do exist, and those departments, they do provide services. So, the functions and qualifications of the Executive Council. So now we have what we call the Executive Council. The Executive Council, it is what? It is the cabinet. And I told you the cabinet ki president, deputy, and its ministers. But now we are talking about Executive Council of a province. So Executive Council of a province is the cabinet of the provincial government. So the Executive Council, they're talking about what? The Premier. So in this instance, in every different province, there is a head. That head is called a Premier. So a Premier in each and every province, they act as presidents of that particular province. Why am I saying they are the head? Why am I saying they're acting as the president? This is why. They are consisting of the president and the premier. And the premier has got his what? His subordinates. His subordinates, we call them the members of executive. They are called MEs. MECs. So remember, this is what I said. Cabinet, it consists of what? President, deputy, and ministers. But in this instance, we're talking about what? The Executive Council. So the Executive Council now, it's what? The Premier. The Premier acts as what? Is the President. And the Premier, of course, he's got what? He's got his deputy, all right? And he's also got his what? His ministers. But we don't call them the ministers. We call them the MECs. So there are about 5 to 10 members each. They're appointed by the premier, right? And the same premier who appoints those 10 members, he can also dismiss them, meaning he can also fire them and say, hey, Lerato, I no longer need your services. I now prefer Mpho to take your part. You see? So MECs are appointed by the Premier from amongst the members of the provincial legislature. He or she can also dismiss them. The provincial legislature may force the Premier to reconstitute the council by passing a motion of no confidence in the Executive Council, excluding the Premier. The Premier designates powers and functions to the MECs. Conventionally, they are assigned portfolios in specific areas of responsibilities. So what they say there is that the Premier, he can say, you 10 members who are part of my team, you, number one, you're gonna deal about Department of Education. You, number two, you're gonna deal about Department of Social Services. You, number three, you're gonna deal about Department of Agriculture, etc., etc. So hence I'm saying they act as the president of the provinces. Institution and statuses of municipalities and the executive committee. So we also have the municipalities that they rule in the local division. We have 3 categories of those municipalities. It's category A, category B, and category C. The Constitution states that the national parliament and provincial legislature may not encourage on the powers, functions, and structure of a local authority, may not intervene in the local government. So what they're saying there is that those who are in the local level, they have the powers, they have the rights that have been assigned to them, and they said, hey, you people in the municipalities, you can create your own laws. But remember, although you've created your own laws, you still have to abide to what, guys? The Constitution, right? So refer to page 49, the legislative, executive, and administrative executive functions at local government level. So you will see a figure 5.3 there. It explains further. We've got also institution activities of the Provincial Council of Traditional Leaders. So what are the traditional leaders, guys? So the Constitution also makes provision for traditional leadership structure at local, provincial, and national levels. The national and provincial legislation provide for the establishment of houses of traditional leaders and a council of traditional leaders. The interim constitution makes provision for the establishment of a provincial house of traditional leaders in provinces where there are functioning traditional authorities. The Provincial House of Traditional Leaders' function was to make proposals to the provincial legislature in respect of matters relating to traditional authorities, indigenous law, or the traditions and customs of traditional communities in the specific province. So, what I said to you at first before I read there was, what are the traditional leaders? So the traditional leaders are the people who are representing what? The different the different types of people that we have. Remember, When I started teaching, I said to you, we have what we call a community. We have what we call a nation. We have what we call a family. Okay? And when you explained, you did tell that we come from different backgrounds, we come from different families, we speak different languages, we follow different traditions, but no one can come and say, no, Sutu traditional, it's irrelevant. Oh, it's just ridiculous. Oh, it's not that important. Oh, as Zulus, we are more important because so and so. No. Remember, all of us, we are all united. So, meaning all of us, our traditions, our languages, our customs, they should be what? They should be respected and treated fairly. Did you know even whites they have their own traditional that they follow, right? Also the Afrikaners, also the colors, etc. And all of us remember we are all unified. We are all united. We are all one under structure of democracy of South Africa. Remember, democracy was given to us through what? The Constitution. Okay? So we've got those leaders that we call traditional leaders. They are the ones that make sure that our rights are being protected, our traditions are being protected, the things that we want, the things that we feel like they should be covered. They are the ones that make sure that the government gets to be accountable to offer us those services. So the functions of those traditional leaders, they are the ones that advise and make recommendations to the national government with regard to any matter pertaining to traditional authorities. They advise the president on matters of national interest. Any parliamentary bill pertaining traditional authorities must be referred to the council by the secretary to parliament for comment, advice, support, or opposition. So what I just read there for you is exactly what I've said, that the traditional leaders, they are there to make sure that our customs, our recommendations, our amendments that we want to be done, they're gonna be recognized where? In the national government. Where is the national government? The national government, it is the legislature. What is the legislature? It is where parliament is. It is where those two houses of parliament are, which is NA and NCOP, right? And remember, if you scroll back, it said the NA members, they are the one that pass what? They pass laws. Where is it? Let's go back. Mm. You see, passing laws, the qualification sitting in the National Assembly. The National Assembly, they choose the president, providing a national forum for public debate, and they pass laws. So they are the ones that pass the laws that the members in the traditional council come up with and say, our people in the community say they want one, two, three. So they are the ones that pass those laws. I believe I did not make you guys feel lost. So I'm gonna stop here and I'll send you guys another recording continuing with lesson 6.